The character of Iago from Shakespeare's Othello is one of the most unique and multifaceted villainous characters from all of Shakespeare's works. The mysterious and deceitful aura of the character makes the play more thrilling to the viewer or reader, who is aware of Iago's untruthful motives, and makes the outcome even more dramatic. This essay will explore the uniqueness of the character through the focus on how Iago uses reverse psychology in telling the truth within his lies to fool other characters of the play. To understand the nature of the character, one should first question his motives. However, that part is entirely left by the author for an open interpretation. Although the story mainly implies the contrast between Iago and Othello, Iago's revenge falls upon every character despite the minor hardships they have caused him. At the beginning of the play, Iago states that he hates Othello for not giving him a position of lieutenant and emphasizes that the action is unfair, as he is no worse a place. That means that before Othello gave the position to Cassio, Iago was different, and the first introduction of the character to the reader represents the new or authentic version of him. Furthermore, Iago states that he is the master for himself and not Othello, as he says that in following him, I follow but myself. If all that time Iago was playing the role of obedient servant, that explains how he can easily manipulate other characters without them questioning their trustful relationships. Iago is a skilled liar, so manipulating people is easy for him and does not require directly telling lies. Instead, the character insinuates and alludes to details that send the person's mind into wandering, letting Iago capture the victim's mind in his trap. In his talk with Cassio, Iago distracts him with talking about Desdemona and how she is beautiful and full of game. After the talk, Iago suddenly invites Cassio to a drink despite Cassio's disagreements and eventually exposes Cassio's issues with alcohol and makes Othello regret his choice. In the play, Iago's manipulations are mainly focused on Othello and his thoughts about other characters. In the scene where Othello first discovers that Cassio visited his wife, Iago pretends that he saw nothing and alludes that even if there was something, Iago did not hear anything by stating or if, I know not what. By saying that, Iago uses reverse psychology to raise Othello's guard and make him slightly paranoid about his observations. Next, he proceeds to tell Othello that even if that was Cassio, Iago does not think that he would steal away so guilty-like. With this statement, Iago implies that indeed, that was Cassio, and what he did with Desdemona in the absence of her husband made him feel guilty, or else he would not escape so quickly. There are multiple cases in which Iago pushes on Othello's vulnerable points and leaves his mind wandering for an answer to distract him and manipulate him. In Act 3, Scene 3, in dialogue with Othello, Iago deliberately keeps his silence to emphasize his thinking process on whether he thinks that Cassio is an honest man and even asks, "Honest, my lord?" The reader understands that Iago is just in silent shock as his plan almost failed because Desdemona and Cassio are familiar with each other. Eventually, Iago states that he thinks that Cassio is honest. However, when Othello proceeds to ask his friend what is on his mind, he begs Othello to dismiss his scattering and unsure observance. By hiding with a picture of a dear caring friend, Iago slowly poisons his friend's ears and mind while also deceptively asking for an excuse about his incompetent opinion. Not only Iago lied to his friend, but he also falsely warned him about the consequences that come from jealousy. Iago says that a man loves in bliss as long as his wife cheats with someone who is not a husband's friend, which alludes Othello to the thought that he lives unhappily. Iago warns Othello and says that jealousy is dangerous, but then proceeds to tell him that he is unhappy, which Othello perceives as a sign that he needs to stop his suffering. While Othello was struggling with his thoughts in regards to his wife, his friend, Iago, tried to explain to him how Desdemona was hiding her affair from him by saying, "She did deceive her father, marrying you, and when she seemed to shake inferior looks, she loved them most." By mixing lies and the truth, Iago poisoned Othello's ear, convincing him that indeed his wife was unfaithful to him. In conclusion, the character of Iago is unique in the sense that the character that the reader becomes familiar with is different from the character that the other people from the play know and trust. Using the other character's trust, Iago acts as a master for himself and uses his skills to manipulate the other characters of the play. To avoid possible suspicions about his manipulations, he does not lie directly but prefers to use reverse psychology. Particularly in relationships with Othello, throughout the play, Iago manipulates Othello's weakness and directs his anger in the way that benefits Iago's interests. You can find this and many other essay samples on our website studycorgi.com.